In this video, we're staying at the Roku Kyoto LXR. It's one of the more unique hotels for the area and acts as a luxury retreat in the foothill of the mountains. We'll look at the hard product, amenities, great features, and things like food. If you're looking for a calm sanctuary that's about 30 minutes away from the hustle and bustle of tourist sites, then this is perfect. Big favor before we dive in is to give this a thumbs up to help with the algorithm. If you're new and you like travel, then consider subscribing. Starting off check-in, we were walked to the tea house, which is their main lounge area. Super high ceilings and inspired by historic architecture, in a place I could definitely see myself sitting and thinking and maybe writing. Unsurprisingly, there also is tea here. Even though the property didn't seem that full, we did have to wait a bit for someone to come back for the check-in paperwork. To be fair though, my understanding is that the Roku caters more for Japanese tourists, and they might not have as many strong English speakers, especially since we do speak pretty fast. We also did have a bit of an upsell during the check-in, and that's not really the best vibe. Welcome to the garden onsen room at the Roku. Let's check out the view. So you do have a garden view that you can open up if you want to enjoy the weather. There is a screen guard to minimize bugs. So you can either come out here and enjoy the weather and the noises of nature, or you can stay inside and still enjoy from in there. If you are doing some work or taking some Zoom calls, this is perfect. If anything, it kind of looks like a fake background. The main event is going to be right over here, and this is going to be your own personal onsen. So it does use water from the onsen, which is scalding hot. I initially turned it on thinking that it would cool down a bit. That was a bad idea. I ended up waiting about like 10 minutes. You want to have hot and cold water running at the same time. That way it's easier to use. It is pretty solid though, and you can easily fit 2 people in here and enjoy your time. Alternatively, what ended up happening was I was in here relaxing while Mandy was working on the bed. One benefit of the room is that you don't actually have to go through the main bedroom to get to the shower area. So you can actually come right from the onsen and step right in here, or there is a secondary door right over here. This is one of the vanities, but there's another one that's exactly the same that we'll kind of review. First though, after going to the onsen, you'd want a shower, and it's going to be right over here. You have 2 options. You have kind of an overhead rainfall one, and you do have a shower head. Shower head is pretty big and was really good pressure. Right over here is one of the vanities. I really like the light design and the giant mirrors. The bowl structure is also pretty cool too. It kind of ties the whole room together. Kind of makes me think of an onsen. All the shampoo, conditioner, body wash, and lotion are from Sadeshi. Also fancy little soaps. There are a lot of other items down here as well, such as a body sponge, toothbrush, toothpaste, and pretty much everything you'd expect. There are other items you can request, but we'll get into that in a second. This is the main bedroom area and also snack station. Up here you have some sodas as well as some alcohol. One thing you might have noticed is that the cans are actually open because we decided to drink them. Normally we don't do this because the prices are a bit astronomical and it doesn't make sense. The really cool thing with the Roku though is that if you do have diamond status, then you can have some free drinks. You can actually have 2 of each, so 2 green teas, 2 Cokes, 2 Coke Zeros, 2 tonic waters, 2 of the Kyoto beers. Same with the Lom chips as well as Brookside chocolate and Cadbury milk chocolate. I think for the bottom batch, there was only 1 of each one, but yeah, it works. Benefit though is that it made for a pretty fun night. We did end up eating the other bag of long chips. They're pretty much just long, gigantic chips and super efficient because it's pretty much a brick of chips. Coffee makers over here, plates over here, coffee, green tea, and more green tea. Some pretty fancy stuff for the most part. We did have some in the tea house and it was really good. The tea house also has some other unique flavors that are not the normal ones, so I would definitely spend maybe 10 minutes or 30 minutes there relaxing. Down here are going to be where all the drinks are. For the most part, the paid ones are going to be on the left side and the free ones on the right side, but I'd always double check the sheet just to make sure. Over here are some wine glasses and there are some cups before that we are using, and a kettle down here that I knocked down for effect. I should probably put back up. In terms of outlets, there are a few that I'm now seeing because it's daylight, but I could not see this one at all last night. So there's one over here and also a USB one over here that I didn't know existed. Right over here is a pretty cool speaker. I don't think I've seen anything like this before. It's pretty much a light plus a speaker, and it's going to be by Balmuda in Tokyo. Tons of light switches over here, so super advanced and convenient. This was the bed and super comfortable, and yeah, no complaints for the most part. Pretty bouncy, pretty great experience. They do have some PJs for you. These ones were okay. I didn't really end up wearing it because it felt a little bit rough, so it didn't feel the most comfortable, but an option if you want to try it. There is another plug system down here that we're currently using. Back here is going to be the closet area where you can store your stuff, and it's pretty compact. So you have some bathrobes right over here. Bathrobes are super plushy, and we probably should have used them. They feel really nice. Over here are going to be some shoe polish stuff if you have dress shoes. Some other ones, sandals to walk around the property or go to a pool. some for the room, and a secondary one if you want to use it. Also umbrella and ironing board over here, and also an iron. Safe right over here. Bathroom's going to be right over here. It is a pretty nice bidet system and automatic like a lot of the other ones, but I'm always still impressed by this. This one doesn't have a dryer though, so some other ones do, but yeah, that's fine. I think there's different models. This is like near the top range because it can do this, but it doesn't have the dryer, which is like the Plus or the Pro version.
Are you a Toto toilet connoisseur now?
I think I am. I think I'm becoming a connoisseur. You can't really see the room maps here, but this is going to be the base floor. Pretty much 3 buildings of rooms, and then I think over here is the fitness center and the pool area. Unless this is the fitness center and pool area. Yeah, pretty simple layout. Forgot to cover this. TV over here, pretty solid. If you are using this and you're not leaving it for demonstration purposes like I did, you can drain it and it's going to be right on the corner ends. Otherwise, if you fill it up, it does kind of have a max right here and the water just goes out here and goes to the back. That way it doesn't overfill and flood the room. Since we are here for a special occasion, they did have some welcome snacks. So number 1 and number 2, which I probably should open, but it looks too fancy. If you do need any other items, you can order them. So the top set are going to be ones that are free for you to keep. Bottom set are ones you can borrow and you need to return to them afterwards. So for example, if you need earplugs, skincare kit, comb, hairbrush, you can get that and keep it. If instead you have a player 3, you can borrow a crib, bed, guard, rail, baby bathtub, ton of other things, and return it to them afterwards. Lots of good options. Last thing before we check out the rest of the property are going to be long chips. So this is what it looks like that we talked about earlier. Pretty much tastes like Pringles, but super salty because even after one, your tongue wants water.
1.5 grams of salt per serving.
Is that a lot? Stay salty.
The Roku Kyoto is part of the LXR Hotels and Resorts under the Hilton umbrella. These are hotels focused on one-of-a-kind experiences, unique stories, and they're often situated in intriguing corners of the world. The Roku was on the top of both Mandy and my list for our Kyoto trip. Part of it being that it looked beautiful and a great place to relax, but secondarily, because we wanted to visit every LXR property in the world. As of filming, there's 14 and we've been to 4 and now 5. Funny enough, since we initially couldn't find points availability, we ended up paying out of pocket. We ended up booking the Honors Advanced Purchase Rate, which is not refundable, and it was about 146,000 yen all in after taxes and fees. Converting that to USD, that's about $1,000. Unlucky for us, availability seemed to open up as the trip came closer. Ironically, if I didn't try the adult and I waited later, I could have used points or free night reward. In fact, it was pretty wide open, 110,000 points for standard room. Doing the math there, 0.9 cents per point, which is above my target of 0.8 cents per point, making it a good redemption. Also, if you are going for free night rewards from the Hilton Surpass or Aspire cards, it's a great redemption. On a side note, if you want to learn about Hilton cards or American Express cards to get these points, we do have links on the website, asksebby.com, and also down below in the description box. As always, make sure the links are competitive, but otherwise, it is a huge way to support the channel, so thank you in advance. One of the biggest draws of the property is the hard products. The first thing you'll notice is the Zen reflection pools. They look great throughout the day, but they really shine during sunset and at night. Especially on a clear night, you can see the moon and there's something beautiful about it. Mandy and I used to live in Boston almost 12 years ago now, and one of our favorite spots was the reflecting pool by Back Bay. Same vibe and a great way to reflect and relax. The second standout feature is going to be the thermal pool. It's pretty big at 25 meters long, and you have a beautiful backdrop given the surroundings. It's also Kyoto's only outdoor natural onsen pool. It draws natural hot spring water and it's open year-round. The easiest way to think of it is like swimming in a giant bathtub. There's also pool chairs throughout and a cold plunge towards the back. It's open from 8 a.m. until 9 p.m. and at night it can be a great opportunity to stargaze while relaxing in water. In the building overlooking the pool is the gym. Pretty spacious and a ton of new equipment, also fruit and water here, no complaints at all, and if you like working out, you're probably going to be happy. We also didn't run into anyone during our visits, and I like that it didn't feel too cramped. Before we talk about the surrounding area, let's look at the food on property. Restaurant Tenjin serves French-inspired cuisine. The food was just okay, flavors weren't bad, but the cook on it felt a little bit off. The cuts of things like meat also weren't the best, especially given the price. If you're someone that's well acquainted with French cuisine, it's going to feel a little bit mid.
Okay, dinner time, and the first item is going to be fish with cheese. I don't think I've ever had this before, but they recommended it, and it looks interesting. A little weird, but it works. Next up is the seafood pasta. Surprisingly big. I think I expected something a bit smaller. I'm happy about it, obviously, because food is awesome. But yeah, at a lot of other fine dining restaurants, you'd probably get half of this. Split off a bit of it and give it a taste. It's okay. Sauce isn't bad. Pasta doesn't feel... So it's okay. Seafood's not bad. A little bit overcooked. I think they could have probably stopped it like in maybe 30 seconds or 1 minute. It's pretty much the definition of satisfactory. Last item is the Wagyu beef tenderloin. Not bad flavors. I probably wouldn't order it again. Like, it's good. It's an 8. Just didn't blow me away. I guess to say that it's good, but for the price, it's not good. I expected a bit more. If it was half the price though, I don't think I'd mind at all.
If I had to do it again, I'd probably take a taxi or walk off property and try food in the neighboring area. Restaurant Tenjin is also where breakfast is served, and the breakfast buffet tasted pretty good, but a bit on the small end. Maybe it was because it was a big space, but it felt like there should be more food options. There also is an a la carte menu that was included, and it was pretty flavorful and tasty, but Mandy thought it was just okay. I am a fan of sausage though, so that might be a reason. If you're looking for food options off property, I've heard amazing things about Moroi. This restaurant earned 1 Michelin star back in 2021, and a big focus is on ingredients and fresh well water. The Roku is built on the grounds of the neighboring Shozan resort, and if you're willing to walk 5 or 10 minutes, then you have a lot more options. Most weren't open during our stay, but we did hear good things about Lauren, which is Chinese food presented in French style. Shozan also has a Japanese garden on the resort grounds, and it's accessible for free for hotel guests. If you're going from the Roku, they can either drive you in a golf cart, or you can walk about 10 minutes. The garden features Kitayama cedars, seasonal trees, and artistic green moss. When we went over, we were the only people walking around, so definitely a cool experience. Again, ties back to the theme of the hotel. It's a calm escape from a busy city life. There also was a shop owner there that was pretty impressed with Mandy's calligraphy skills, but was disapproving of mine. Overall, the Roku is a tale of two cities. You have a beautiful location, great guest rooms, and amazing amenities and features. At the same time, the soft product and the food could definitely be improved. I'm also not the only one that's had this experience. For example, this person felt that the hard product was better than the soft one, and service is hit or miss. Here's another review saying that there's stunning architecture and setting, but indifferent service and underwhelming food. Others complained about a chaotic experience and mediocre food. And don't get me wrong, I don't think this is a bad hotel. I think it just pales in comparison to the other options. The Kyoto hospitality market is one of the most competitive ones out there, and the bar is exceptionally high. For example, a lot of people felt that the Park Hyatt had friendlier and more personable staff. For others, they thought that the Park Hyatt took care of them 10 times more, despite not having elite status, but being diamonds at Hilton. The Roku was awarded 1 Michelin key, and I think it's well deserved. But I do think that the hard product and amenities are carrying the bulk of the weight, at least for our stay and our experience. It's still a great redemption though if you have points, and a perfect reset for a long trip. Again, if you want to learn about cards, we have links on the website, asksebby.com, and also down below in the description box. If you made it to this point, leave a full moon emoji in the comments down below, and I'll try to heart it and also respond. My question for you is, what are your thoughts on this property? Would you come here, and would you redeem points here? Let me know and everyone else know in the comments down below. Big favorite, thumbs up, consider subscribing, but otherwise hope you liked it. See you next time.